Hmm.
So, Dave, it's great to be with you here today. And given all the things that are going on in the world, particularly the world of bankers,
Yep.
uh, I'm interested in your perspective on a couple things. We're going to talk a little bit later about some of the resources that you supply, including what I can see in the background, the Sales Management Survival Guide, one of my favorite works. And yet, I think that the question that perhaps most on the minds of a lot of bankers is how can they be more productive working at home? This is a
Yep.
first for a lot of commercial bankers and business bankers. It's fair to say they're trying to get into a routine around their jobs. So I know you've worked from home for many years. You're certainly somebody who's worked with salespeople who work from
Hmm.
home. What advice would you give to bankers today about how they should get organized?
So I think, as I have phone calls over the last few weeks from people who've been used to working in an office, um, and all just kind of adjusting to what you do at home
Mhm,
is a challenge for them. And it's kind of, you have to establish new routines. In the
mhm,
office, we have the routines of what we do, meetings we go to, things that how we block our time through the day.
mhm.
And now all that has been disrupted, and we're trying to establish the new routines at home amidst challenges of perhaps kids uh,
Mhm.
at home and things like that. So I think the first thing is establish a routine. Um, and all of what work from home looks like, how you handle things like your kids, how you handle things like other interruptions. I think also the concept of knowing when to turn work on and off.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've seen a lot of people who are new to working from home is because the computer is at a corner of their living room, or it's in a spare bedroom, or maybe in a home office or something like that. There's the temptation just to keep working.
Yeah.
Things like even taking your meals uh, at, uh, at that. So you need to know how to turn things off, because if you keep working for
Mhm.
these long periods of time, you're going to exhaust yourself, and you become much less productive. So I
Yeah.
think that's one thing. I think too, the thing that particularly people who've worked from offices, but what I'm seeing everybody do today is they feel isolated, they feel disconnected, they feel alone. So I think it's one really important for managers to recognize that and reach out and just have short conversations
Mhm.
with with each of their people every day. It's so easy to become disconnected and not know what's
Yeah.
going on. So the role of the manager is to help people feel that connection, help them understand what's going on. I think also team meetings are
Mhm.
much more important. And again, the team meetings, I see people doing some interesting things, and not just business focused meetings, but
Mhm.
also just, you know, we forget that we get together every day in the cafeteria, or we go out to
Right.
lunch and work
Yeah.
together. And there's that social aspect that's so important to feeling part of something. So the team meetings can be a little bit social. Somebody was telling me the other day, on their manager said, "Tell me something funny that's happened to you
Yeah.
this week."
Yeah.
So it's, again, we're looking for perhaps substitutes to that kind of interaction and that feeling of connectedness we have in the office. How do we do that virtually?
Yeah.
And that's, I think it's more important today than it is even in the office, because there is this sense of isolation, there's this sense of loneliness,
Mhm.
and that can become very, very counterproductive.